Going to be talking about TB Joshua and how he has bewitched South African Christians. Because if you go to TB Joshua synagogue today, you will see that there are a lot of South Africans that you will meet over there. A lot of South Africans who have been deceived, who keep on bringing people down there. Even after over 100 people have already been reported dead in the synagogue of South Africa, in Joshua synagogue, they still have a lot of people coming over there despite the death of all those people. So there is a bewitchment that is going on right now in South Africa about TB Joshua. So if you know anybody in South Africa, go and share this message with them. Share the message with South Africans, and many of them will recognize Theresa today. Many of them, I don't know what name they were calling her when she was there. I think it was Theresa, but many of them will recognize her as the person that was hosting them and also selling the lies to them. But now, thank God that Theresa is free. As I'm going to introduce Theresa now, I want to tell you a story that I had today. I got an audio message that was recorded from another man that got set free from the deception of synagogue and TB Joshua. And this person was saying in the audio, that he is the prayer warrior he used to head the prayer warrior of synagogue of Jonathan. And when this lady left, when Theresa left, he was now calling to say he has to repent. Because he cannot believe it that Theresa is still alive. That is what he was saying, that I can't believe it that you are still alive. And I heard that this man is ready to come on board here as well, because he also got set free. He's ready to come on to confirm everything that Theresa has been saying about TB Joshua. And he said, he himself, he was the head of those people who were praying to enchant and for something evil to happen to Theresa. And he was actually saying nobody will believe that Theresa is still alive, that he himself cannot believe that Theresa is still alive, and that even though she is alive, that she is still normal, she is in her senses, that despite every witchcraft or all the evil prayers they prayed against her, that how come she's still alive. So this is a confirmation of what we are talking about, that there are some other people collaborating the story. And he said, if necessary, he's ready to come on to confirm the story. Hello, Evangelist Theresa. How are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you, DSA?
I'm doing very fine. The program we had with you last time was very, very popular and very, very good. We had close to 20,000 people watching it. And
wonderful.
Yes, and so your story is resounding with the people. And I started reading your book, my. I've never seen a demonic manipulation like that in my whole life. In fact, I had to put the book down and just rest. After reading some portion, I have to rest for a few days. It doesn't happen to me like that. Normally, I can, I'm emotional, but at least I thought I was already familiar with a lot of things that happen in Christianity, that I know a lot of things. But to that extent, I didn't know that things are so bad. But what I'm seeing in that book is not just about TB Joshua or synagogue. This is a microscope of, microcosm or microcosm of, or is it microcosm? Microcosm of what is happening in Nigerian church altogether. So it is an...
That's right.
Yes, it is just a little picture of what is happening in Nigerian church. And I see all the manipulations. And you've written them in details. Very, very good details.
Yes.
So this book and TB Joshua is only a full introduction into... Can you show the book? a full introduction into, it's like a magnified, a colored picture into what is happening in Nigeria, in the Nigerian church. So if you, all of those people who have not bought this book yet, I think, can you put the link to the book, to the link to our blog? Because, you know, people have problem getting this book on Amazon. But if you go to our blog, I think from maybe this weekend or from Monday, you'll be able to get the book on our blog, on my blog, sundayadelajablog.com. If you go to the book section, you'll be able to get our books on my blog. Even though you can get it on Amazon too, but on my blog, you'll be able to get it much more easier. So, so welcome, Theresa. Today, I want you to talk about South Africa. Why is it that South Africans are falling into the prey, are falling prey of the deception of Joshua? They come there en masse, and they went ahead and brought Americans, brought Europeans, and that is how all the Europeans started going there. What is the trick? Because in the book, I was reading the tricks that TB Joshua was using to lure foreigners and to deceive them. And they would not know that it's deception. They think that they are falling for real miracle. In fact, I want us to be having this program with you on weekly basis. You know why? There are so many things that I've come across in your book. There are so many things that I've come across in your book that I would like us to go back to and for you to open our eyes to and, you know, discuss in more details. That book is a book that every Christian, either white or black, European, American, South African, Nigerian, every Christian must have your book, because it is an eye-opener of what religion can do for people, how evil religion is, and how evil men who are psychopaths and narcissists, who are pastors, how evil they can, you know, drive people to become. So let's start with South Africa. And okay, maybe you want to start with the story that I started with, because this man, I heard him saying that he himself was involved in trying to kill you, or trying to make you, you know, vegetable or mad or crazy, that he was shocked that you are still alive. You know, what will you say about that?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to say a very simple prayer that whatever we are going to talk about tonight will bring restoration and sanity to humanity in Jesus' name.
Amen.
I will also like to remind our listeners that we are not here for entertainment. Please don't join this platform for a telltale series.
Move back a little bit.
We are here for a serious.
Can you move back?
Yes.
Yes, good.
We are here for a very serious business. Our coming together is not majorly focusing on one certain individual, but we are here to make a shift, if possible, from the pattern that is prevalent in the body of Christ today. It is being said that if you are not infected, you will be affected. Directly, you may not be a victim of brainwashing. I am one. But your neighbors, your family friends, member of your society may be. That is why you may not be infected, but directly or indirectly, you are affected. So therefore, we want everyone that will listen to us to run with this message of deliverance, like Habakkuk, run with it and share with your loved ones. Okay, concerning what you asked me, after I left that synagogue, Fatai said I have known too much, I knew too much. So anybody that knows too much in the synagogue that eventually leave, you will just hear that they become late, they died. I come across few people while I was on the streets one day, and they almost ran into a moving vehicle because they thought they have seen a ghost. Diola, I saw one lady also.
They thought you were a ghost. So when they saw you, they thought it was your ghost they were seeing.
they thought it was my ghost. In fact, after Biola got herself together, she said that I called disciple meetings and told them that my enemy was already dead.
Who is your
I
enemy?
said, well, Mercy said
who
no.
Who is your enemy?
That me as dead.
Oh, but
no,
you know, you're not
Fatai
talking to
told them.
Nigerians here. It's Nigerian language that says my enemy, you know. The people here are from different background. They don't know. You call yourself enemy. You call
All
your,
right, sir.
Talk normal. So
yes, let me
the
talk
person
direct.
thought that you were dead.
Yes.
Oh.
Diola confirmed to me that Fatai called disciple meetings and told them that I was dead.
Okay.
So that is why when I met her on the street, she almost ran across a moving vehicle. She thought I was a ghost. She was touching me all over. I said, yes, are you the one? I said, I am the one. Mercy said no, even though Fatai tried all he could, but God preserved my life. So this other person.
What is Mercy said no?
Mercy said no.
What is Mercy?
She cannot die.
Is that a lady? Is that a woman?
No. I said mercy of God.
You didn't say no. God's mercy. Okay. God's mercy said no, right?
God's mercy. Okay. God's mercy said no.
Okay.
She will not be one of those people that Fatai will waste it. So my life is preserved for a time such as this, so that people can hear what is going on in the synagogue.
Yes.
So the other audio tape that you got into your hand.
Yes.
This person, you two, you listen to it. He was saying that, are you not the one talking like a normal human being? Yes. I said, I am. Even at a time, he was begging me that, how did I do it? I said, well, I didn't do anything. I only cry unto God, because he said after he left, Fatai always appeared to him, tormenting him in the dream. I said, well, just go.
You told us the last time that the person you are calling Fatai is TB Joshua, because that is his real name.
Yes. Fatai is TB Joshua's real name.
Good.
He's just using TB Joshua to deceive people.
As a brand.
Yes.
Okay.
To repackage. Because, you know, we are in the world, DSA. We are in the world today that the occultists, they don't appear the way they used to appear before. These days, you see a necromancer dressing in three-piece suits and carrying bigger Bibles.
And wear white suits.
And wearing white suits. So they don't put on chalks on their faces to scare you on the streets. So they have repackaged and rebranding so that people will not know who they are.
Theresa,
so,
you know, I told you that we are going to be talking about South Africa, but since I read this thing in your book, I am going to ask you to tell the people. Maybe I wanted us to do a different program on it. Maybe we could do a different program fully, but I have so many programs I want to do with you, because that your book is rich. It's rich. So, but if you don't mind,
I will also like that book to be translated into different languages.
Yes.
Whoever can handle it.
Okay. We are going to.
The book is beyond me.
Yes.
It's for the whole world.
Yes, I agree.
For
that book, it has to be in the library of every human being who is a Christian. Anyway, even if you are not a Christian, it has to be in the library of everybody. But you want me to, you know what I want you to answer? This to tell us, this is going to be a delicatessen for our audience, because they didn't know this story. And this story is going to be mind-blowing to them. And I want to call on everybody that is watching to go right now and share the message if you have not yet shared it, because This story that I want her to narrate is going to just, I mean, it's going to be life-changing. It will tell you about how demonic some of these so-called pastors are, and the reality of spiritual warfare. Bonus to us. So the story is this. Most people who came on the platform the other time, some of them, not most of them, some of them came from the side of Joshua, and they were coming to refute you and say that they have a video where you went back to that synagogue and confessed, but they didn't, maybe they didn't want to hear your explanation that this is one of the tricks, and you wrote it very well in the book, that everybody has to have a video confession of their sin and repentance. Yes. So that's, and you also said that, you know, you had to go back because you were, you know, you were tormented and things like that. So you had answered that question. So I don't want us to deal with that right now. But the reason, what I want us to deal with rather now is the spiritual warfare for your life. Because you just said it now that you told that guy that you didn't do anything, which is not so true. Because according to your book, there were a lot of spiritual warfare about your life. And I want you to tell the story of that man, that born-again pastor, that basically exchanged his life for your life. And I know that God took him, maybe at his own time, but he basically gave his life for your own life. And I think the reason is because God needed your voice alive. And God needed your voice alive, and that you should be telling this story today. That man cannot tell the story. And so the sacrifice of a man of God, the real man of God that stood in the gap for you. And I know that your life had been claimed in the spirit realm. So this pastor had to die, had to give up his own life so that your life will be preserved. So tell me that story.
Yes, it's happened that after lots of terrible dreams and expose that I have seen going on in the synagogue, I decided to leave. There was a time I tried to leave. The Fatai used his finger, just one finger. He used it to draw a mark on the floor, and said, "If I have 2 heads, I should pass and go and go home."
You could not cross that line.
Yes, because I was unhappy. I know that what is going on, so I passed there. I wanted freedom.
Sorry, did you say you passed the line that he drew on the ground?
I did pass.
Wow.
I told him, I said, I want to go. So he used his hand to draw a line that if I have 2 heads, I should pass. And I passed. For 3 days, I was walking around in Lagos. I do not know where I was going. 3 solid days. I did not shower. I did not brush my teeth. I did not eat until I returned back to the synagogue. It was when I returned to the synagogue that he said I should go and do confession before I can be received back into disciple fold.
Oh.
That was the video he was using to deceive people.
To blackmail you.
To blackmail me. I wanted to leave, but because of hypnotism, because of brainwashing.
No, that was hypnotism. That was more than brainwashing. This was hypnotism. That line he drew, and by you crossing it, he had put witchcraft, hypnotism there, and that's why you lost your mind.
And because I didn't know Jesus Christ at that time, the power could cage me.
Could affect you.
But, yes, could affect me. But on the last minute, at 2007, after I have made up my mind, he promised to take me to South Africa. He promised to take me to many countries. But I was tired of going to many countries with him. I knew the truth. I don't want to stay another year in the synagogue. So I became rebellious. I don't participate with them anymore in whatever they do. So sometimes I stay on my bed. So it happened. They went to South Africa for for farmers conference. So by the time they returned, they said their cameraman malfunctioned. He was telling the people in the disciple quarters that if Bisola had gone with them, that incident wouldn't have happened. So he said because of that, all of us, we have offended him spiritually. We should go somewhere to go and be asking for forgiveness. While I was there, suddenly I saw my mother. In my vision, in a day vision, I saw my mother in a flash. She has become so aged and, very frail. 13 years back, Fatai has already asked me to tell my mom that she was a witch. She shouldn't visit me again. So when I saw that, I for the first time in many years, I had compassion for her. So I went to Fatai. I said, I want to go and see my mother. It was like lightning falling on Satan. He was so shocked to hear that I wanted to go and see my mother. He said, I cannot go, period.
So you had not seen your mom for 13, you had not seen your mom for 13 years.
At that time, I haven't seen my mom for 13 years. Nobody in the synagogue have relationship with their families. But I will separate everyone with their families. So the following day, I was so rebellious. I just took my bag and I went out. The security people tried to stop me, but I fought them with all my energy. And I took a motorbike from the frontage of the synagogue. I just told the motorbike, just carry me to anywhere.
I want to say something for people who will come to dispute our words, that how can but I am a member of synagogue, I have my family, but what she is talking about are the people who are staff. People who are working in the synagogue, they are the ones that are separated from their families, or people who are staff, either they are working there, or they are staff, or they are full workers. Yeah? Say that again.
They call them disciples.
They call them disciples, yes. Not just the church members who come and go every Sunday, but the ones who want to become ministers or leaders or disciples. They are the ones you have to cut short. You have to live there in their territory and cut off from your family and everything and begin to work for the system. Okay, go ahead, please. So you took a motorbike.
So I took a motorbike. And the same thing that happened to me years back started happening. I couldn't get my bearing. There is one man called Mr. Ojoloye. He was the one that called me and said, we heard that you have left the quarters. I said, yes, I'm going to Ibadan. He said, where was I at that time? I told him I was at Obalende. You can imagine from Ikotu, I found myself in Obalende. Maybe you should explain the distance to your listeners.
I don't even have an idea myself. I don't know those places.
That is from Lagos Island. Lagos Island. It was that man who redirected me back to Lagos mainland so that I can take a vehicle back to Ibadan. When I got to Ibadan, I saw my mother very frail and she was crying. She lied down on the street and was crying. I said I pet her that she should just stand up and be herself. That we should go to her house.
Mother's prayer is. It is the mother's prayer that delivered her. 13 years of a mother's prayer. And God showed the picture of the mother.
Crying to God.
Go ahead, please.
She has been crying to God that God, bring this girl home. So when we went to her house, I knelt down and I apologized that I'm so sorry for calling her witch, that I was instigated to call her that.
Even though she was a Christian, she was already a Christian, she was a Christian, but yet you are calling her witch.
Yes, because of manipulation. I was manipulated. I don't
And
know
she's a
what
born
I
again.
don't know what
And your mom is a born again Christian, real genuine Christian.
she, she's a born again Christian. Even before I was born, it was my
Wow.
dad who
And they
and
made you
I
to call they made you to
put
call her
my
a
dad.
witch.
Yes, I grew up with my dad. So I apologized and I begged her. So I said I would like to leave synagogue. My mother said something. She said you have wasted your youth in that place. Why do you want to leave now? I don't want to go into details with my mother. So I told her that I will tell her the story later. So after we have finished talking, my mother gave me a pastor's number that I should call a pastor and ask for counseling. So I left my mother. I went back to synagogue in Lagos. When I got to Lagos, Patai called me, said he warned me not to go to my mother, and I insisted. He asked me what happened in my mother's place. I knew he's a manipulator at that time. I told him that my mother do not want to see me because I don't want him to start manipulating me. So he said I should go back to the to the to the disciple quarters. So the following day, I called the pastor. I said I would like counseling from you. So the man said before we go into counseling, we should pray. So the man prayed with me. And while we were praying, the man asked me one question. He said, "Where are you?" I said, "Don't worry. I just want to take a decision. That is why I'm calling you." So the man said he was sorry. He said why he asked where I was what the Spirit of the Lord showed him. I said, "What did the Spirit of God show you?" He said he saw me change in chain. My hands, my legs, and my neck were in chain. I became so afraid. So I said I was in the synagogue. He asked me, he said, "What are you doing there?" I said, "It's a story for another day." I said, "Why I'm calling you for counseling is because I want to leave." He said, "You cannot go." The man told me point blank. He said, "You cannot leave." I said, "Why? I was not born here, and I'm sorry, I need to go." He said, "Well, if God should open my eyes, I will know that I cannot just walk away." As he said that, the situation that happened, the day Fatai used his hand to mark the ground, reminiscence to me. Then I calmed down. I asked him, I said, "What should I do? I want to go to heaven, but staying in this place will not make me to go to heaven." The man said he knew. He said the only thing I can do is that I should calm down and we should be praying to God for direction. He said he does not know what to do, but we will be praying. I said, "Okay, how long will we pray?" He said he does not know. So the only thing he told me was that anytime there is a service, congregation service in the synagogue, I should call him. He said because before congregation service, there is a ritual they normally perform. So I said, okay. So every service, after the service, I will call this man secretly
So you had gone back to synagogue at
and
this
he pray
point.
with. No, I was still there. Yeah.
You are still there.
After I
Okay.
visited my mother,
You
after I
visited your
visited
mother
my
and
mother,
came back.
I went back.
Okay.
Yes, I went back.
Okay.
Yes. So So I was communicating with this pastor. So every service day, at the end of the service, I will put my phone in my pocket and put earpiece in my ear, because in the synagogue, disciples are not allowed to use phone.
To do what?
Disciples are not allowed to use communication device,
Okay, telephone.
telephone. So they may think I was listening to Fatai's messages. So I will put earpiece in my ear to speak with the man. So one day the man asked me, do they normally cook food for you jointly to eat? I said, yes, we normally eat joint food. He said, I should not eat that food again. I know the reason behind that food. Each time herbalists visit Fatai, TB Joshua, they will advise him, they will instruct him that he should kill rams. So he normally kill rams, like two rams.
Animal sacrifice. So they will do as if they are killing rams to feed the staff, but actually they have used the blood of the animal to do the sacrifice, whereby then the food, the meat is given to people to eat, right?
Yes, after like a sacrifice.
Yes.
So after preparing food, apart from the disciples, we normally also have another places that we normally take those food to the beggars somewhere in Yaba. So the man said I should stop partaking. Then after I stopped eating, I realized that each time they finish preparing the food, they put the food on the table. We will wait for Fatai to come to the meeting. So immediately Fatai enter into the meeting. He will touch the coolers, the food where the food has been kept, and said, give it to them. Those were his words. Give it to them. Inside me, I was wondering, who are them? Who are them? He would just say, give it to them. So when we eat, but after I was warned, I stopped partaking of the food. Sometimes I will flush the food in the toilet, or sometimes the longer throat disciples, they will say, please give me, give me, give me. So I'll give it to them. Then we prayed for 3 months. I asked the man one question. I said, is there any portion of the Bible I can be reading? The man said something profound that I can never forget in a hurry. He said, where you are, heaven is not open. I looked up to the sky and said and asked, heaven is not open? He said, yes, heaven is not open where you are. You don't worry. As I told you, give your life genuinely to God, and I'll continue helping you here. At a time, he asked me to pray, to fast for 3 days. But my fast always starts around 2 p.m. Do you know that the very day I started the fast was the day Fatai called me and some of his favorite girls. Fatai has favorite girls, and I was one of them. He said we should eat in his kitchen. So I took my own portion. I took it to the room and flushed it in the toilet. But on the 3rd day, I was somewhere around the synagogue, and Fatai said they should call me. I went to his office. He put food on his table and said I should start eating.
And I know
So
that
I was just
TB Joshua doesn't allow people in his church to be fasting, right?
no.
If you are a disciple or a staff, you cannot fast.
No, if you fast, that person will be in trouble. That person will be in trouble. You know, in the synagogue, they don't eat communion, they don't fast, they don't do water baptism, they don't call people for
They don't do
uh,
communion. They
uh
don't do Holy Communion.
they
They
don't
don't do
eat
water
communion,
baptism. They don't fast.
they don't do water, they don't fast. We never prayed together.
Hmm.
In disciple quarters, we never prayed together. So as I was just looking at the food, I tried as if I wanted to vomit. So he said I should go to my room. So I went over to my room. So while I was there,
So
the
you
fast
acted. You
ended.
acted. That's good.
I acted as if I wanted to vomit.
Hmm.
So he said they should lead me to my room. So after the fast, the man said I can take my decision. That he saw something. He said he saw from heaven an angel descended with a mighty chain,
Who said this?
iron chain. The pastor.
Okay.
We were
Not TB
communicating on the
Joshua.
phone. No, 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 no. The pastor we were communicating together.
Okay.
He said he saw a mighty angel descended with an iron chain, and all the elements standing at the synagogue gate, that this angel bind them and put them in shackles. So I am free to live.
Wow. Can I ask you a question at this point? At this
Yes, sir.
that 3 months while you were praying, were you still having intercourse, sexual relationship with Joshua?
I stopped going to see Fatai. I became deadened to anything because my eyes are already open.
Okay.
I have known
another
serious.
question. Another question. I know that
Yes.
all the women who are disciples there, whenever they have their menstruations and Fatai or TB Joshua collects their blood, they have to take the blood and the thing for their menstruation to him, right?
At that time, yes, you have to show him. And Fatai is the one giving the ladies a sanitary towel. Is the one giving the ladies sanitary towel.
And he collects it back with the blood after there are something. Okay.
That's right. Even he normally asks somebody to cut our hair. I don't know what they do.
With the
it's
hair,
combing
the hair.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw that
Yes,
one in Redeemed also. You have to bring a comb and comb your hair. We are hearing you.
Yes. Yes. They will cut our hair.
Cut
I
your
don't know
hair and collect the hair as well. Okay.
Yes, we don't know what they do with it.
You don't know what they did with it?
I don't know what they do with it. So one day there was one white garment, one garment priest that came to see him. So he said they should go and call me. The moment I enter into the place, the white garment man was leaving, and Fatai pushed me on the bed and lie down on top of me.
Why you are still doing your fast?
No. Before that time.
Okay.
Yes, before that time. Do you know that for many years in my dream, I always see crocodile on top of me?
Ooh.
So these are the spiritual bondage many people are in the synagogue. Anyway, when the man said, I am free to leave, then I now went to confront him. I said, I'm going home. So he asked everybody in his office to leave his office. He said I should stay behind. So after they have left, he closed the door. Then he did his hand like this, that I should come. He wanted to hug me. So I just stepped back. I stepped back. I was looking on the floor. So he now said I should go and call my mother. So when my mother came, he was telling my mother that he loves me so much, he has taken me to many countries, that he knew, he just thought, he just believed that I need rest, a time out. I should go and stay with my mother for a week or two, then later come back. But he said they should go and bring his own vehicle, that he wants to send me away like a princess. So they went to bring his driver and his vehicle. So I put my luggage into the vehicle, and they took us to the park. So while we were going, I called the pastor that we have been praying together, and I said, we have already left. The man said, okay, I should call him the following day because he was busy that day. The following day, I called him. They said the man is in the hospital. I was shocked. They said he's in the hospital. I was shocked. So the wife did not ask me, but I sent her 10,000 naira. I said, please, whatever you can do to make Pastor, healthy, please do it. I've never seen the man before that time. I did not see him physically. So after like 4 or 5 days, they said he has been discharged from the hospital, that he's just recuperating at home. It was on the 7th day that the wife called me and said the man is late.
The pastor died.
The pastor died. So at that particular point,
that pastor had to give his life to deliver you from that place. Okay, go ahead.
At that particular point, I did not know my rights from my left, because in the synagogue, we were not serving God. We were only serving Fatai. Everything centered on Fatai. You cannot do anything without Fatai. Even some members, if they want to sleep with their partners, they have to wait to collect pass from Fatai. If they want to travel, they have to wait to collect pass from Fatai. So everything is about Fatai. Nobody can go to God. Fatai told us that God do not know we were existing. That is the only one who wants to introduce us to God.
God does not know of your existence. So
yes,
only he is the permission to God, right? He's the one that is the gate to God for you. Okay.
Yes. That his own time usually come to this earth every 1,000 years.
Yeah, but you see, this is what pastors propagate in Africa. They are like the middlemen between God and the congregation. They don't introduce people to have personal relationship with God. Okay, go ahead.
So that his time usually comes to this earth every 1,000 years. These are the words of manipulation we have received, that nobody even bothered to talk to God. He told us that he told us that he is the stock of Jesse, that there's nothing he do, either wrong or right, he will not be called to judgment. And whatever disciples has done on his behalf, we were also free.
Yeah, that's exactly what Chris also said, that if there are men of God and there are servants of, there are pastors and there are men of God. There are people like him who are men of God. There is nothing that they could do wrong, and they can never sin. That you get to a place you can never sin. That everything they do, either right or wrong, God accepts. It's the same doctrine that Chris Oyakilome has. He has a video in the YouTube where he was saying that.
Akai told us that if we miss him on earth, we cannot miss him in heaven. So that is why people call him Jesus' junior brother.
Okay.
That if you refuse to stay in the synagogue, you will meet him at the gate in heaven. That means if you meet him at the gate in heaven, you will not be able to enter heaven. So without everybody will be thanking God.
He is the one.
Yes,
okay.
Everybody.
Without his permission, you cannot enter heaven. Okay.
That's right. Everybody will be thanking their destiny for finding themselves in the synagogue. not knowing that the other side is the
The
case.
opposite is the truth, yeah.
The opposite is the case. So when the man died, that was when another chapter in my life started. I will see myself, the moment I close my eyes in my house, I will see myself back to the synagogue. Why that is so is because they were using my pictures for enchantment.
Yeah, I heard the man said it today that he was
Yes.
he was one of the ones that was enchanting on your picture.
Yes. You remember that I sent you a screenshot
Yes.
where a boy said he saw my picture in their hut.
Yes.
That even one day when they were doing,
where they have a mountain
yes,
where they are doing their shrine.
yes, even when they were doing the enchantment one day, the place caught fire.
Yes. The guy wrote
Yes.
it. Yeah.
That's right. So at that time, I didn't know my rights from my left. I was just the way I was when I entered the synagogue. You understand? I don't know how to have relationship with God. So one day, I opened my door early in the morning. It was live tortoise I found at my door. People started, trying to help me. Anytime I sleep, I will see Fatai. He will ask the disciples to be running after me and bring me back into the synagogue. Sometimes Fatai will be giving me injection. He will give me injection. Sometimes he will force drink into my mouth. Sometimes he will be having sexual relationship with me. Sometimes he will be giving me food. So all these things were making me to become very weak and tired in real life. I don't know what to do. So I was patronizing some pseudo churches, thinking I would get help. But I have become wiser than the time I
Because
left synagogue.
you are seeing the same deliverance practices in those churches as TB Joshua. It's the same. It's the same practices.
The same pattern. So when I see it, I will just run away. I will go to another place.
The same pattern.
So then after I've gone to several places, at the time I just don't want to go to anywhere again. Then
because the church in Nigeria has been compromised, especially those ones talking demons and deliverance and all those. Most of the churches in Nigeria, in fact, somebody said we always say there is a remnant. The person said if there is a remnant, I don't know it because all the ones we know are being compromised. Yeah, go ahead.
While we were there, we will see Fatai sometimes leading us into the thick forest, leading disciples into the thick forest, doing a lot of initiation to all the disciples. So we too, we had become his initiates. So when visitors come from different parts of the world, we were tools in the hands of Fatai. We too, we were deceiving them. He was using us as tools of deception. You can imagine when visitors who are sick visit the synagogue. We normally use medicine. We will grind medicine into their drinks so that they can feel relieved. We know their problem. There is one particular woman, she's a nurse, Mrs. Igeodu. She will go and buy medicine pertaining to their sickness, and they will grind it and put it in their drinks. So people will feel better while they were in the synagogue environment. But the moment they get home, they go and die.
So let me explain what is happening here. So what happens is that they are the workers, right? So when people come for miracles, they will take their medicines away and tell them, don't take drugs, don't take anything, right? But they will be putting something in the food and in the drink. And the people will be saying that I'm not taking my medicine, but I'm healed. I'm not taking my medicine, but I feel good. I'm not taking any medicine, but I'm fine. So they are thinking it is the prayers and the hypnotism of the guy that is working, but they are the ones doing it. So when they come back home, they stop taking their drugs, thinking they are healed, then they die.
So Igeodu will go and organize medical reports, fake medical reports, and give
So
it to
this
them
lady,
so that they can.
this medical personnel was working full time in synagogue.
Full time. She came with her husband. They were looking for fruit of the womb, and Fatai separated the wife and the husband. In no time, the husband died, and the woman became a full-time disciple. She's also bedmate of Fatai. So she's the one doing all those fake medical reports. So some people, they will give them fake medical reports of HIV, and the same one, they will give them fake medical reports, negative reports. Those people that come genuinely for HIV healing, they will tell them they have been healed. Do not take your drugs again. After some time, you see that you will hear that they have died.
Now let's go
Many
to South
people
Africans. You know, I wanted us to talk about the South Africans. While you were there, how did the stories of South Africans start?
Yes, it started with two people that came from France.
From France?
They were from France, yes. They came from France. So when they came, Fatai gave them a lot of videos. They said they came for fact-finding mission.
Okay.
So Fatai gave them a lot of videos to take to France in order to show on their television. So when they show it,
you were in charge of the production of those miracles videos.
I was in charge. I was the one that did the editing.
And you know that all those videos we are seeing, those miracles, you know how they were packaged, how they were put together through video.
I'm in charge of the camera crew. I follow the camera crew to take pictures and camera the people who had come for healing. And we package. You can imagine a woman who came because her womb, because she had hard labor. So her womb came out with her baby. We took her to the toilet and we camera her. We saw the womb. You know, in over there, they have to open all their naked bodies.
Naked body.
Yes.
Open womb.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. So we saw that the womb came out. So after the Fatai has done the hand like this, Ola was the one who pushed the womb back, and we did another camera recording to show the people that the womb is already gone inside. So the woman came back again that the womb has not gone inside.
But you have done the montage, the editing.
We have done the montage, we have done the editing, and we have laid voiceover. Even if they did not say the right thing, we will use voiceover to run over it.
Wow. To say that, you see the way the womb came out, now it is back in place.
Yes.
It is because of the prayer and then you sell it out to the whole world.
To the whole world. We say after a few days. That's the word Fatai said we should be using.
I myself listened to another woman today that was telling the story, and she didn't know. She also came to visit a synagogue. I heard it myself today, and he was talking to you, and the lady was saying, I saw how fibroid came out of a woman's, private, because they make people to be naked there. So they took the camera to the woman private part. They saw the big, fibroid coming out. They took the picture, but they let these things go to the latter stage. It goes to the latter stage that it's so bad like that. But when she pushes it back, it goes inside. So she was looking for healing. So what people in the screen don't know is that the thing normally comes back, and before she even came, she can put it back. But she was looking for healing. So what they did is that they took the photograph as it came out, and he was doing hand like this, but the disciples, the women disciples help put it back. They will not show that one. They will be showing the hand at that time. So by the time they now show her again, the thing has gone back inside. They say, you see, it just came out now, physical. We saw it physical, and now it has disappeared. Wow, TB Joshua, TB Joshua. But the people didn't know that she didn't get healed. She went back the way she came, and she either died or something. Tell us the story.
We normally brainwash the people before they go on the line. That when it's coming, do not stand straight. Try and, go down so that your problem can go down with you.
Okay, so and that the problem can go down with you.
Yes.
So that's why everybody is going down anyhow. Mathematicians. Me I dey hear.
And some people, and you see that some disciples usually stand behind them.
Yes.
They will drag them immediately from the back, and they will lose stamina, and they will fall down.
And that is plus the hypnotism also, because the hand, that is hypnotism too.
Plus hypnotism.
Yes.
And many of who had already told us their stories. We have already, Fatai. We were all informants. We were all his informants.
So the patients, the sick people are seeing Joshua for the first time, but they don't know that all the information about them, you have already reported it to him ahead of time.
Yes.
So you will be coming to give prophecy and saying things as if God is saying it, but they will not know that it is you who have given information about the whole person.
We have already given him information. Even some disciples, some visitors that come from different countries. Usually Fatai will say, take them on tour round the whole synagogue, let them see every department. While they are gone, we are in their room, checking their bag, checking their problems, checking their names, checking their next of kin. And all these things, will be related back to him.
And checking their medicine too.
Yes, checking their medicine so that we can buy the same type they are using.
And be putting it in their food.
And putting it in their food and their drinks. Yes.
And they will be saying they are not taking drugs and they are healed.
But they are taking drugs.
Only
they are taking drugs.
Only
they don't know. So when these French people came and they left, not too distant from that time, then one man, we call him Francois. He was the first South African that came to the synagogue.
Okay.
He came with a young man called Johanna.
Johanna, yeah.
Johan or John.
Johanna, yes.
Yes, Johan or yes. So Francois and Johan were the two people who first came. And the moment they came, I, Bisola, was the only one that attended to visitors, because many of the disciples that I met there, many of them, they were not outspoken. They were not, they were not as, I don't know.
Articulate.
I don't know why.
Yes.
Articulate. Why Fatai chose me. Anybody that called international calls, I was the only one that turned to international calls. So I know a lot of things. So why this man came, even Fatai couldn't face them. He would say, Bisola, go and meet your visitor. So I will take them round. All the lies, because I've been initiated, I've been inducted into manipulation. So I too, I was, passing the same thing to them. Whatever Fatai couldn't do, I will be telling them. That is why the Spirit of God was telling me that if I refuse to disclose this to the whole world, I may not miss our heaven, no matter how much I receive Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Yes. So, and Fatai now called these two people. He gave them lots of money. He told them that they should go and bring, he specifically told them he wants white people, not black South Africans. Black South Africans don't know how much Fatai hates them.
Wow.
Bring white, he said, bring white people like you. And he sent them to all the neighboring countries, Zimbabwe, you know, all those countries around South Africa. He said anytime they come, the accommodation will be free, feeding will be free at the beginning. Fatai told us in the meeting that if you want to catch a monkey, you behave like a monkey. I know why I'm giving them free now. Later they will pay for all these things. So this man, he took all the video cassettes and the money Fatai told them that they are his evangelists. So they too, they started bringing people, Emmas.
And they believed that those things were miracles. All those spectacles that you had montage and edited, all those miracle stories, they believed they were true.
They were not with us behind the scene.
Hello?
Because they were not with us behind the scene.
Okay, okay.
They believe it's miracle, but we that are behind the curtain, we know that all those things are packaging, stage managing. So then other people started coming, and while people were coming, there is a man, he was a rugby player. His name is Ruben Kruger. Anybody can
Ruben
Google
Kruger. He was the legend, South African legend.
Yes, he was a legend. The man would not have died if he adhered to his drugs. He had brain tumor, and Fatai promised he healed him, that he should stop all the medication.
He was having brain cancer. And because they treated him the same way, they were putting his medicine in when he was in synagogue. He was feeling better. But when he went home, he stopped taking the drugs and he died.
He died. Then when he was in the synagogue, he gave testimony that he has been healed.
Because he was feeling better.
Yes. And also the manipulation is that you have to believe God before God will do the thing for you. So believe that you are healed. So people who are sick, they will give testimony that they are healed. So when Ruben Kruger, because many South Africans knew Ruben Kruger.
Yeah,
when they saw him,
Ruben Kruger. Yeah, he was known worldwide. He's a very famous. Is it what they rugby player? Yeah.
Yes. So the moment they saw Ruben Kruger, many people started coming.
Because he was
another boy.
It's like seeing Okosha or Kanu in Nigeria. So somebody who is famous like that, saying he has been healed of cancer, the whole country started coming, and he's a white man. All the white people started coming from South Africa, right?
Another boy, young boy, 25 years old. His name is Wim Basson.
What was the name?
Wim Basson. Wim Basson.
Okay.
Wim Basson. He's also a softball player.
Okay.
He's also yes. So when he came, he actually wrote a letter that he wanted to come, because before you go to synagogue, you need invitation. So Fatai invited him that he should come for healing. But unfortunately for Fatai, some people have stopped taking Fatai on face value. They have started looking deeper. One of the people who came to synagogue, when we took them to Agodo, that prayer mountain, they saw a billboard that Allah is the only God. And the visitor took the picture.
Allah, that is Muslim, Islam God.
Yes. Yes. There are a lot of billboards there about Allah, and you understand. So this visitor took the picture and took it to South Africa. When the story came back to Fatai, that this is the story that is flying in South Africa, he asked his boys to quickly remove the billboard before another visitor come. So when Will Bazoum came, a gentleman whose name is a journalist, he followed Will Bazoum to synagogue.
A South African journalist.
To come and his name is Jack Paul.
Jack Paul, okay.
You can Google. When Jack came, normally as the visitors came, there is a man called Radio Pulpit. His name is Johnny Pelsa. His name is Johnny Pelsa. He normally runs Radio Pulpit in South Africa.
Okay.
He was the one that brought Wim Bazoum. Unfortunately for Fatai, Jack Paul followed Wim Bazoum. He does not want the situation that happened to Ruben Kruger to happen to Wim Bazoum. So while the visitor came, I went to leave them. I took them into their rooms, and Fatai said the emergency operators should go and collect all his drugs, that he should stop taking drugs.
As usual.
And as usual. So on the emergency day, while we were at the emergency, they saw a white man setting up cameras. You know, all the disciples are in
emergency day. What is emergency? What is that?
This is the day they do healing.
Oh, that's the healing day. They
Yes.
call it emergency day. Okay.
Emergency day.
Okay.
So, you know, all the disciples informers, they quickly ran inside and tell Fatai that they saw a man setting up cameras.
Because he wanted to see the miracle. He wanted to record how the miracle would take place.
Yes, he wants to follow it up. So, Fatai now asked me to go and talk to the man. Say, we usually don't allow this. Don't worry, when you are going, we will give you videos.
So it has to be your own video. It has to be your own monitored video and arranged video and what a tailored video. Other people's video cannot do it. It's only your own video. Okay. Mm-hmm.
It has to be our over-edited video. So the man introduced himself. He said his name is Jack Paul. That is an investigative journalist, that he followed this miracle down. That if this boy is healed, he will announce Fatai to the whole world. So Fatai said we should go and Google who Jack Paul is. When we Google Jack Paul, the result of Google actually put Fatai in his office.
What?
The results we got from Google about Jack Paul, what he has been doing, what we saw his biography.
Yeah.
We saw his work and his biography. We know that he has been working with Carte Blanche. There is a television station in South Africa called Carte Blanche.
Okay.
He has unraveled many mysteries.
Okay.
Things that people think is mystery, he has unraveled it. So Fatai became crippled. And he told, then Fatai now said God did not send him to Wim Bazoum. That he was not going to pray for Wim Bazoum. That God did not send him. All of us, we were shocked. You invited this boy to come. Why now? So that was how Wim Bazoum went back to South Africa very sad. On Google, you will see where Jack Paul wrote that when he was leaving synagogue, Fatai gave him thousands of dollars in order to change the story for him. But Jack Paul told Fatai, I cannot take any gift from you. I will go back to South Africa and...
Because this is his normal practice. And it's not only the only one.
Yes.
All these pastors in Nigeria, they normally pay journalists. And the African journalists, Nigerian journalists always take the money, right? Even the white journalists take the money. So he tried to give money to that Jack Paul, right?
Yes, Jack Paul. So that he can give him a positive write-up. The man said, no, I'm not going to take any gift from you. So anytime, a lot of visitors usually come, white people from South Africa, different places. Anytime they are going, Fatai will give them a lot of video cassettes. But that video cassette usually contain raw cash. Fatai usually use them to launder money. He will put raw cash inside the video cassette.
There is a church, Winners Chapel. They used to launder money through car tires. So Fatai will launder money through the foreigners. He will put it in the cassette of the videos. These people are wicked.
So a disciple usually follow the visitors. The moment they get there, they quickly go and sort things out because he wants to keep a lot of cash in South Africa, in different countries. So that anytime his disciples who go for abortions or who go on holiday go, or anytime himself travel, he can get enough money to use. So
these foreigners will know that they are carrying cash for TB Joshua, and they think it's a honor for them to do that.
They think, many of them believe it's an honor for them to do that for him.
To do something for the man of God.
Yes, man of God, quotes. So it happened one day. 125 visitors came from South Africa, and there is an elderly man among them. The man had issues with his health. He had diabetic, different health issues. Nigeria is hotter than South Africa.
Yes.
Yes. So while they were at the emergency that day, they asked them to go for lunch break. So while they were there, one of the man fainted. We call him Baba Marole. The man fainted.
Oh, I saw the video on the YouTube that they said the guy died.
He didn't die.
No, it's on the YouTube. Joshua is using it that he raised him from the dead. Tell us the story.
So the man collapsed on the lunch table and fainted. So quickly, one of us has gone to tell Fatai that something happened. So he sent Benson, one of his junior prophets, to go and pray for the man. But the man did not turn around. So many visitors, they were trying to hit him, trying to give him mouth-to-mouth respiration. But the man did not. But in the synagogue, they have medical, personnel.
Yeah.
So they quickly call Igeldu to lead our team there. And they took the man aside. They quickly asked me that what was the man's problem. I told them he had diabetic, he had high blood pressure. So they quickly give him some antidotes, and the man started breathing. So when Fatai heard that he has come around, Fatai said we should quickly separate him and put him in a separate room and tell the visitors that the man has died. So we put the man separate, and the visitors, they were not happy. So we said we were taking the man to the morgue. So in the night, after everybody has gone to sleep, Fatai unpicked 5 of us, 2 cameramen, Yinka, myself, and Shewa Bella. She was the one that did the editing. Me around the voiceover. But by now they must have removed my voice.
No, I saw it.
So,
okay, I will talk later.
So we now, as if, it's a show. It's like camera show. So we now pointed to Fatai as if we are reporting what happened to him in front of camera. And Fatai now enter. Fatai has already discussed with us that you want to do what Jesus did, raising the dead. So he could do that woman. She gave the man sleeping injection.
Sleeping.
So that the man will not be aware of what is happening around him. The man just slept on the bed like a
dead
locked room. So Fatai did a lot of things. He lied down on top of the man.
And you are taking the video.
It's a drama. Yes, it's a drama in the room. So the visitors, they were unhappy that one of them died, and so. So while we did all that, we waited for the injection to wear out. And when the man wake up, we ran voiceover on it, and we called the visitors. The visitors refused to take their breakfast in the morning because they were mourning the man. We told them that he
died.
He died. So, but we told them that they should not worry, that Fatai has raised him from the dead. They were shocked. They started calling South Africa and giving false testimony. And before that time, it also happened to one of the South Africans. At that time, they have not built this synagogue auditorium.
Okay, before you continue, let me tell the story that I saw that video, and what I saw is this. That man, it was after he had collapsed, and the people were trying to resuscitate him, and they were doing mouth-to-mouth respiration and things like that to try to get him to life. That part, they showed it. And they did all the first aid to try to hit him. All that they showed him, they showed all that, the way all the white guys were trying to wake him up, and they couldn't do anything. So they showed the helplessness that the guy was dead. They were saying, okay, but then they took him to another room. They didn't show that part. But they didn't show the part when he was injected and he was bringing him back to life and then giving sleeping tablet again. But they now went and showed the part when TB Joshua had now come, when all the recovering hour of the tablet had gone as elapsed, when he was now coming to say, ooh, he's going to wake him up, ooh, and doing all this magic, lying on him. They were taking all that. So when the medicine was over and the guy opened his mouth, his eyes, and people said, yeah, but it's true. So all those people who had tried to raise him and do first aid for him and they couldn't do it, they now became the biggest witness. And some of them were doctors and they said, he died, we saw it, we were trying to do it, see the video. And it went, that is what exploded TB Joshua to the whole world as a miracle worker. The raising of the dead of that power, whatever, is on YouTube. And I went to see it myself and I thought it was real because it is so well tailored. Even me, I believe that it was real. Hey, we can't hear you.
We did the editing. We packaged it. Fatai called us in the office.
Sorry?
Fatai called us in the office and said we should separate the man separately. That you want to make people believe that he has raised the dead. And you know when Fatai is calling the most trusted disciples, he doesn't just call anybody. So he called the inner caucus to come and plan with him. But before that time, when synagogue has not been built this way, a man died, and where the man died, it was a room adjacent to Fatai's room. I was the visitor coordinator. I usually don't sleep. I don't know how I survived those years. maybe sometimes I may sleep 2 hours in a day. I was always working. So I left studio around 2 a.m. I went to do some personal laundry. When a visitor called me and said one of them had issues in the room. So when I got into their room, I saw that the man just opened his mouth and he was just laying there still. I tried to wake him. He couldn't, he didn't shake his body. So I turned around, I went to Fatai's room to wake him that something is happening in the second room, that he's sleeping. So Fatai said I should go and call the junior prophet, Agomo and Benson. They pray like the prophet of Baal. Nothing happened. So Fatai said he was going to the mountain. So he left and went there. The man didn't turn, he did not wake up. So if Fatai could wake any dead.
And the guy died? The man died?
He died. So he said we should go and tell the
also.
From South Africa. He said we should go and tell the visitors that he has traveled. He's not around.
He said he had traveled. He's not around. That's why he's not coming to wake him up. And he ran to the mountain and to hide himself.
He ran there to go and hide himself.
Until all the visitors go with their dead person.
So if Fatai has that power to raise the dead, remember the time that his house collapsed. That could have been the best time for him to showcase the power.
How many people died when the house collapsed, when the building collapsed?
Yes.
How many people died?
Uncountable. Forget about what they wrote on.
I think it was 100 and something, 120 or so.
Those are the registered visitors. What about unregistered?
115.
Those are the
140.
DSA.
And he didn't raise anyone up.
DSA. Those are the registered visitors.
Yeah, those are the South Africans who died, 140. Then, but the Nigerians, they didn't tell us the number.
No. See, if not that collapse was huge, Fatai would have buried all of them in that place.
Without people knowing.
Without anybody knowing. The moment that thing collapsed and people from the streets were running in to help, they locked synagogue gates because they always do things secretive there. You understand? So when South Africans pastors are coming, there is a man called Jimo that Fatai, we were always in Fatai's office. Fatai will say, anytime I do hand like this, just fall down. So those pastors, they always think they are coming to get spiritual empowerment. So after Fatai has stretched out his hand, he will ask the visitors, you too, stretch out your hand on Jimo. So when they stretch their hand, Jimo will roll around and fall. But after the people have gone to their countries, they normally write email, because I'm the one that will read the email. They will write email that what they experienced when they were in Nigeria didn't happen to them when they get to their country.
Because so they don't have a Jimo to be falling over there.
Fatai told them that they need to come to Nigeria to learn under him. That is how he started gathering disciples.
Wow.
Yes.
You know what? Where is your book?
Yes.
Let's show Bisola's book, Evangelist Theresa's book. The book is on Amazon, but we are now putting it on my blog, sundayadelajablog.com. You can find the book there, because you can buy now, but it's still through Amazon. But from next week, you'll be able to buy directly from our blog. And because the Amazon, they don't work well with Nigeria, but on our blog, you'll be able to buy the book. But so our time is over now. I want us to continue next week. Next week, I want us to continue, maybe next week or the next time. I don't know when it's going to be. But next time we meet, I want us to continue the conversation. And the topic will be how TB Joshua enslaved famous sportsmen,
yes.
including Louis Creighton from Liberia. Nwankwo Kanu, he tried to seduce. Nwankwo Kanu, Amonike, Daniel Amokashe. We are going to put the names. Daniel Amokashe, how he was seduced in synagogue. Amonike, how Joshua tried to hypnotize him. Kanu Nwakwo, and this Louis Clayton, how he's using brainwash to get them. I will give you the names if you don't get it. So that is going to be our next topic. But before we go, what will you say to these South Africans? And how can people get in touch with you? Do you have the contact of Theresa? Email? Put it out there, please. Put out the contact, the Facebook, the email, the telephone maybe. Can we put your contact there?
No, you are free. You are free.
Yeah, please.
No.
Babusha. Это же не первый раз. Ты постоянно опаздываешь, просыпаешься. Постоянно ты никогда ничего не делала это самое. Please put all the contact there. Email, Facebook, maybe telephone also. Some people might need help. Some people's lives might depend on this. Let people, yes.
The last time we had a program, Fatai also used trick to send some people to me.
Ooh.
Some people will be asking me, where are you? I said, why are you asking me where I am?
They thought you are here with me in Ukraine already.
They thought I was with you in Ukraine. So they want to know where I am. Even there is a friend request from TB Joshua.
To you?
I said, yes, are you not daft? How can I receive a friend request from someone like you? We do not belong to the same kingdom. We do not hate.
He wants to seduce you again.
What we are saying, what we are doing here, we are doing it in love. I have nothing against person of Fatai. But what he's doing, his act is what I have against. Jesus said we should love, we should love, we should love, we are giving love. So we are not talking, maybe Fatai. We are just sharing this so that other people will not fall into the same error that I have entered. So this is what we are sharing. And I'm addressing the people of South Africa. South Africa needs deliverance. Fatai has penetrated into South Africa to brainwash the South Africans. Lots of South African pictures are in Fatai's groove, where he's doing a lot of enchantment on them, that whatever he tells them is what they would do. So South Africa should wake up. They should go and know their God. They should go and develop personal relationship with God. Enough of running after spiritual arrangers. Enough of running after prayer contractors. God say, call unto me. Jesus say, ask the Father, not ask the prophets. The best we can do with ourselves is to hold hands and agree, pray with each other, not, pray for me, pray for me, pray for me, pray for me. Even as an evangelist, if I write messages, if I write messages on internet, before you know what is happening, you will be hearing some people pray for me. I'll say, I cannot pray for you. You can pray for yourself. We are joint heir of the Father. Jesus is our elder brother. He came to liberate us. So you can go to the Father. There's no point going through anybody. So please, South Africans, wake up. Many South Africans, even on my WhatsApp, I have a group on my WhatsApp. I have a lot of old visitors from the synagogue on my WhatsApp. There is a man, they call him, we call him Daddy Escort. We call him Daddy Escort. This man had 2 private jets. The time Fatai went to South Africa, Escort used his private jet to carry Fatai. Escort was telling me that after Fatai been to his house, his business collapsed. So he is now giving his life to Christ, himself and his family. And he doesn't want to have anything to do with Fatai. Even there is a man called Prophet Kobos. I was there when Fatai deceived Prophet Kobos and cast enchantment on a pastor, a South African pastor. And Prophet Kobos started, he was sent into kind of
trance. He went into trance.
And a huge pastor that has big followership in South Africa is being ridiculed on Fatai's tape. And many people, they left Kobos, they start following Fatai.
Wow.
So South Africans need to wake up from their slumber.
Can they get in touch with you if necessary?
I'm a child of God. They can get in touch with me. I'm a child of God.
Facebook name. Can you write the Facebook name? Our Facebook name is Evangelist.
Evangelist.
Theresa. What's your Facebook name? I've been telling.
Evangelist Theresa Hephzi-Bah Johnson. I will soon receive.
Can you write the Facebook name? Babosha. 10 times I've been telling you that. Yeah, please.
I will soon remove Theresa from my name on Facebook.
Because that is the name they used to call you there?
Because that is the name Fatai gave me.
Ooh.
Yes, it's another story.
Wow.
My parents didn't give me Theresa. But in my traveling documents, all these things has been documented. That is why I was just I'm just
maybe you should keep it, because then people will know that it is you. If you go and remove it now and the people knew you as Theresa, there might be a conflict there. Maybe you need to keep it for some time.
All right.
Yeah. Wow, what a story. What a story. But the next one we are going to do with you is going to be explosive, because the football star of Liberia, even the president of Liberia, that is how they got George Weah. George Weah, the president of Liberia, went there just this year before the election because he's still being deceived. The president of Ghana went there and he died. They told him the same thing, that he was healed, and he died. This guy is a master manipulator.
He's a master manipulator. There is a man called Chief Alex Akinyele. You know Alex Akinyele?
No, that is going to be, I know the story because I read it in your book. It's going to be a story for another day, because I really want us to talk about that, because that is the person, a former governor in Nigeria, that is being used as the trap, or what do you call it? Is it trap for the fish? Debate as debate for the big VIP people and the presidents. But we are going to talk about it next time. No, but not this next time. This next time is going to be how TB Joshua seduced Nwankwo Kanu, Amunike, the Bull, Amokashi, and all these other footballers. And it's a lie. And the tricks of how he used to do it, she will tell us the whole story. You will not believe it. Pete, where is their Facebook contact? And show the book as well, so that people could go look for the book. Because the book is revolutionary. I mean, after reading a chapter in the book, I have to take time out. I say, my God, I need to come back to myself. The book is revolutionary. Is the book there? The book, go look for that book. It's on my blog, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube, it's on a page. The book is revolutionary. You know, Evangelist Bisola Johnson, you have been anointed by God to do this. This is, you have become a voice of deliverance. And this is not about TB Joshua. This is about the church in Africa and the church in Nigeria. Because this thing that is TB Joshua is doing is now being multiplied. It's now being spread all over Nigeria. It's now being spread and multiplied all over Africa, all over the world. So, and many people are copying the Nigerian church. And this kind of false Christianity has hijacked the real church in Nigeria. Even the main ones, they are all doing it. There is almost no healthy church in Nigeria now, even though I know there are still remnants, but all of them are doing it. It has just been corrupted. The church has been corrupted, and you have been raised up, Evangelist Johnson, to bring us back to sanity and to recover the church of the Lord Jesus Christ in our country. Thank you so much for coming. Our time, we have overstretched our time, and but we will try to bring you back next week to talk about these football stars and how TB Joshua has been able to seduce them. And please get in touch with Evangelist Theresa Johnson. Go and share this message. I think every human being needs to hear this story and need to read your book. Please go share. Let's go and share this message in every inbox. Let's go and share in inboxes of all your friends, and let's go and share in Facebook groups. Everywhere you could share the message, go share the message. And for those of you who have not yet joined the mentorship program, our mentorship program, go to sundayadelajablog.com/mentorship as well. And for those of you who want to get my books, you could get them on Amazon also, or on my blog. And you could actually read my books for free. If you go to Kindle Unlimited, you can read my books for free. But if you want to buy them in bulk, write to dsasbooks@gmail.com. And we are going to make our own books available also. And I think we are going to make it available in our place here. So you could write us. If we have a lot of order, we will make them available to you in a cheaper way, so that it will be cheaper than what is on Amazon right now. So we could print it. We could print it here for her and make it more available and cheaper, so that people could afford to buy them. So if you want to order the book here from us, we will go to the printing press and print them out for you and make them available for everybody that wants to. So you just need to order them. It's not going to be very cheap like my own, because our book is bigger than my own. So we are going to make it cheaper as much as we can. So anyway, this is where we are, and I want us to really thank this bold lady who God himself has delivered from this hell, so that we could also bring deliverance to all the body of Christ. Thank you so very much, Evangelist Bisola Johnson. And we are looking forward to seeing you next time, when we will talk about these footballers and this great name and what trick TB Joshua used to get them. Thank you so much. Bye.